Hey, it's Mike at You Are the Path. So, on the path towards greater health, more clarity, and an okayness about life. And I guess that's the agenda for the channel at the moment. So, just before I share today's tip with you, just to share with you where I'm at. So I went to the supermarket on Friday and I got the veg. I made lentil soup and the headaches have cleared and I'm starting to feel good now. Good in the body. There's more vitality. I've been hydrating myself with good water. I'm going to put a description under this video as to why I enjoy breathing exercises so much. So check that out if you're sat on the fence whether or not to take up a daily discipline of breathing exercises. I highly recommend you do that as we move into this year. So I know that those of you watching these videos, you're resonating with what the things that I'm into anyway, because the only advice I would give anyone is be who you are. And if you're not into juicing and breathing exercises and that kind of thing, that's okay, and I'd never judge you, because I'd advise you to do what excites you and be who you were meant to be. Today's tip is: don't look back to the past with updated intelligence. Looking back at your behaviour in the past, and whenever we look back at the past, we're at a better viewing area because we have updated intelligence now. We know now what we didn't know in the past. So whenever you look at your behaviour of the past, you're looking at it from an updated intelligence, and that can lead to the tendency to beat yourself up. And some of us are experts at beating ourselves up and saying, oh, I should have done this and I should have done that, and then we even go as far as to play out an alternative scenario. And we think, well, if I'd have said that, it'd have gone that way, and it's just the trail behind you. It's about what you can do from this day forth. And I said in a couple of videos ago that you start where you are. Even if things are a complete mess, you start where you are, and that could be sorting out your closet, sorting out your sock drawer, cleaning those clothes in the corner of the room that you know need cleaning. And I know that sounds kind of a given, and for some of you it may be, but I've been in that place, man, where everything's been a complete mess and I hadn't even been cleaning my clothes and stuff. So I'm giving you an invitation to, if you want to get the energy moving again, a good place to start is your immediate environment. So cleaning your desk, sorting out the piles of paper, cleaning your fridge, cleaning your shelves. You could even go as far as to throw out the rubbish food and go to the supermarket and fill it with veg. Buy a juicer. That gets energy moving when you clean your bed. I have this habit of making my bed in the morning. It's just a habit I have. I get up and I make the bed rather than just leave it a mess. And it's just kind of a little kind of daily discipline kind of thing, bringing a bit of order. So, and it helps me. Energy, getting the energy moving, and this is a theme I've been talking about really, because it's, you know, it's okay reading the books, watching the videos, but it's putting it into action, creates the movement, creates the energy. Now, there's a time for stillness, and there's a time for sitting, maybe in a meditative pose, so where you sit consciously and just observe the breath. But sometimes when you just sit and you're thinking about something, maybe it was something that somebody just said, you've just been on the phone to somebody and they've pushed a button, you put the phone down, and then you're sitting with that feeling and you're just stewing like a stew, you know, and it's just churning away, these thoughts going on, and it's stirring up these feelings here. The worst thing you can do is just sit there. Get up, move, walk around, express yourself. Walking is a great way to express yourself. Just get out there and move, walk. I've developed a habit of this kind of a it's possible attitude. It's a I can do this attitude, and it usually comes in my state of being when I'm walking around or I'm playing music. I may play music, I may have a little bit of a dance in the kitchen or wherever I am. There's a real great Bob Marley track, and it goes, how does it go? It goes, souls almighty, you know we got the rhythm, get yourself together. That's the main lyric, is things will be mighty better if we just get it together. And we can get it together. We've got the YouTube community. There's a kind of a movement going on. I'm feeling it this year. And this sounds weird, me saying we've got Google. We don't know how long we're going to have Google, but we've got the information at the fingertips. If you're watching this video, you've got the internet, so you've got access to the information, and all we need to do is just get it together. And we know that things will be mighty better if we get it together. Yeah? So let's take a leaf out of Bob's book, the message that he put out there. And the other message of his is, we know we've got to face reality now. We know we've got to face reality now. And when you can just face the reality, whatever it is that's going on in your body, could be doubt, feelings of self-doubt, shame, guilt, tap that crap away. I release and let it go. I release and let it go. Do the EFT. I'll put a link up here to, you can go to Robert Smith's channel and do the faster EFT. So it's facing the reality, and I made a commitment that I want to face the reality of who I am, not lying to myself, and listening to the calling within. And there was a calling to leave the gym, to give up taking the whey protein, and all of that stuff wasn't working for me, and it was hard to give up that image of being the muscle and all of that. It was hard for me to give up that, but that's what I needed to do. You see, sometimes we want something, but what we want isn't really what we need. What we want isn't always what is going to nourish us. Do you notice how when I said that I closed my eyes? Because when you close your eyes, you get in touch with the inner. Now, something with guys is we're very visual, and this shows up in our lovemaking. And women are very intelligent in that during lovemaking they close their eyes. Now, us guys have this habit of being very visual, and it's a cliche that we enjoy sex with the lights off. So I'm inviting you to try closing your eyes during your lovemaking, and tune in to that sense of oneness. I don't usually talk about sex on my videos, but when I have the thought to talk about it, I just go ahead and talk about it, because it's time now that we get things out in the open, and things that used to be taboos begin to talk about them now. So sex, apparently, this is what I've read, that it is best when it's kind of like an ebb and flow of the tide. You know, the tide kind of comes in and out. It's kind of like a nice kind of natural rocking sensation, and there's a rhythm to it. Rhythm. Breathing is a rhythm. The music, the rhythm, the heartbeat. There's something in that you can tap into with your music, not just with lovemaking. If you're single right now, you can practice that with your breathing, you know, your natural breathing. Read the description under this video if you want to get into breathing. And the reason I do that, I don't do that, I don't give you these descriptions of things because I'm saying you ought to do it, you should do it. These are things that we get to do. Juicing and eating greens, I look at it like it's something I get to do. I have the opportunity this year to take my health to another level and to enjoy the ride of experiencing the changes that I go through. And transformation, really, transformation is the uncovering of more of what you already are. It's already there. It's just kind of polishing the stone to uncover the diamond that you already are. And you will always be that. And if you don't do it in this life, it doesn't matter. You get another chance. But a lot of us right now recognize that there's no better time like the present, and it really is preferable to get the job done now while we can, while we have information at our fingertips. We have this means of communication right now. So check out the description below this video about breathing if you want to get into that, because reading about it can get you excited about it. And to keep me on the path right now of eating the raw foods and juicing, I've been reading about the positive benefits that the body will go through. And I've been reading this book by Monarch, and it's talking about the benefits of the body, and that gets me into it, and then I don't feel like I'm depriving myself. And over the weekend I was thinking about chocolate chip cookies, and when you start to do that and you start to think, well, maybe I'm depriving myself, and then you have this battle of, well, I shouldn't repress myself, you know, I should allow myself to have the cookies. And you have the cookies, and then you might feel bad about having the cookies, and oh, why did I do that, and I always do this, and this kind of battle going on. What we tend to do, and I do this, is it's like I'm trying to fill in some kind of hole using sweets, cookies, cakes, cheesecake, all that kind of thing. And again, I'm not saying don't eat cookies or don't eat cheesecake. I'm not saying that. We all have to do what we believe is right for us. And whatever you're doing, my philosophy is that beating yourself up about it doesn't work. You just gotta accept, okay, I did that, and then assess, did it work for me? Did it not work for me? If it didn't work for me, why am I still choosing that? So the battle going on, I lost my train of thought, forgot what I was going to say there, but it's live, that can happen. So having the battle doesn't always work. And anyway, I didn't eat the cookies. I read this book, and yeah, filling in the hole is what I was going to say. It's kind of being open to that satisfaction coming from something else. So you're, rather than using food as a way to get that satisfaction, you're open to satisfaction coming into your life from something different. Sustenance. That feeling of, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, aren't I? Satiety. Sustenance. You know when you eat and you feel satisfied, that feeling of satisfaction? Spiritual sustenance is what I've been searching for. And I never used to find it in my sex addiction, in the addictive relationships that I was in with a girl in particular that no longer served me. It got to the point where it was just like banging my head on this brick wall. Why do I keep doing this? Addiction. Because I would convince myself I'm in love with this person. But I learned that it wasn't that I was in love with that person. I was only in love with the chemicals I was addicted to. And that's why the wise woman knows that when a man says I love you only during sex, it doesn't really count. Because the majority of the times he's only in love with what is happening to him, the chemicals that he is addicted to. Doesn't mean you can't say I love you during sex, but that can be the motive for saying it. And we trick ourselves into thinking that. And it all goes back to what I'm saying about sometimes what we want isn't always what is going to nourish us. And I'll go into relationships while I'm on the topic. When it comes to relationships, you see, there's a saying, some people come into your life for a reason, some for a season, and some for a lifetime. So not all relationships last, and they're not meant to last, and that's okay. And this could be taken out of context, and you could say, oh, am I supposed to just leave my partner now? That's not what I'm saying. Your gut will tell you. And I started to listen to my gut. I get that feeling in my gut that this ain't right, like that calling. And I've followed that, and it's always served me. So the confusion starts when we go back to the past, because we're unhappy in the present, and sometimes when we're unhappy in the present, we attempt to recreate our past. We're sat down, we get the phone out, and we start texting people. We know that we really have no business texting. We know we need to maybe leave it in the past, but you know, these are the things that we do. So it's best sometimes not to be rash, okay? To just leave things. You can do that even in the things that you buy. When you think, oh, I need that, do you need it or do you really want it? Rest it for 7 days. You may find that you don't have the same compulsion to go out and spend that money and buy that. So I hope you got something from this video. I'm going to the supermarket now. I'm going to get my greens, my alfalfa, and I'm really excited about transformation, about uncovering what's already there. Peace, guys. Catch you later.